Garrett Wilkins was arrested by the U.S. Marshals last week and was transported back to Florence. Wilkins had a sexual relationship with a 15-year-old employee.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
We're going to start right here in Alabama, where WAFF reports on a Lauderdale County grand jury indicting a former fast food manager on 26 counts of child sex abuse related charges. Garrett Wilkins of Florence was arrested after being located in Salt Lake City, Utah by the U.S. Marshals last week and was transported back to Florence. Police say Wilkins had a sexual relationship with a 15-year-old employee. Investigators say they discovered that the two had a sexual relationship and also exchanged explicit images and videos. Wilkins is facing 10 counts of production of obscene material of a child under 17, 10 counts of possession of obscene material of a child under 17, 2 counts of transmitting obscene material to a child, 2 counts of sexual abuse in the second degree, electronic solicitation, and enticement of a child for immoral purposes. Wilkins remains in the Lauderdale County Jail on a $3.6 million bond. It's worth noting that, and I'm going away from the WAFF reporting now, it's worth noting that despite everybody thinking that fast food is just work for children. That's where children should work. We want to send we want our 14-year-olds, 13-year-olds to get work experience. We don't want them going into the coal mines. They should go work at a fast food restaurant. That's kind of what people think about fast food, that it's a safe industry. The restaurant industry literally has the highest incidence rate of all industries for sexual harassment and assault. There is no industry in which you are more likely to be sexually harassed and assaulted than restaurants. So, you should be careful about sending your kids to restaurants because it's actually dangerous work. Something like 70% of women who work in restaurants for any length of time have reported being sexually harassed or assaulted. Staying in Alabama, an employee, this is from AL.com, an employee of a nonprofit that helps resettle refugees in Alabama has lost her job after speaking out publicly against her employer's decision to help resettle Afrikaners in the state. Yasmin Othman, a former employment specialist with Inspiritus, said she was fired on May 21st for speaking with AL.com for a story published the week before about the arrival of several families from South Africa in Alabama. She told AL.com in mid-May, "I feel it's disrespectful to the refugees that we are assisting and helping that are running from violence and forced displacement to be helping this population." A week later, Othman, 27, lost her job. She said her employer told her it was because she violated policy by speaking to the media and because she had continued to try to convince her coworkers to resist the group's decision to help Afrikaners. While the Episcopalian Church decided not to help resettle the Afrikaners due to moral objections and shuttered its decades-old resettlement efforts nationwide, Inspiritus, which is based in Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee, opted to work with the administration. "We are mandated to serve all refugees no matter how they arrive," Liz Kurtz, the Alabama refugee coordinator for Inspiritus, said earlier this month. Othman said her employer told her that they had no choice but to participate in the program in hopes that Trump would allow other refugees to resume entering the U.S. She said she felt ethically obligated to share her criticisms with the media, and so she spoke with AL.com for an article. On May 21st, Othman was fired. That day, she said a person with a local business stopped by the office and said they would like to hire Afrikaners, but not non-English speaking refugees who they did not want to, quote, babysit. So she said she felt she had an ethical responsibility to speak up. I would really encourage folks to read the full AL.com piece, which includes important context about the white South Africans if you aren't familiar with the situation.
Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
Heading over to Florida, the U.S. Department of Labor has cited the Salvation Army after a 54-year-old maintenance worker suffered fatal injuries following a fall while working at an Orlando donation center and store in November of 2024. An investigation by the department's Occupational Safety and Health Administration found the worker was repairing a roof leak when the fall occurred on November 7th. OSHA cited the Salvation Army for a repeat violation of exposing workers to fall hazards. A similar citation was previously issued at the employer's Princeton, West Virginia location in January of 2020. OSHA also cited this company for 5 serious violations, including failure to assess workplace hazards, provide fall protection training, and ensure proper machine guarding. 2 other than serious violations were issued for failing to report the fatality to OSHA within 8 hours of the incident and lacking a hazard communication program. The Salvation Army will pay $120,000 in penalties to address the violations. Staying in Florida, the U.S. Department of Labor has recovered about $600,000 in back wages and damages for 419 workers after a federal investigation found a Leesburg-based employer failed to pay workers all of their required overtime wages. An investigation by the department's Wage and Hour Division determined Amtex NMS Incorporated, operating as Southeast Modular Manufacturing, violated the Fair Labor Standards Act, the overtime provisions, by not paying workers time and a half their regular rate for all hours over 40 in a work week. Specifically, its rounding methods improperly reduced hours that resulted in unpaid overtime for hours worked over 40 per work week. Investigators also discovered the employer violated federal record-keeping requirements by failing to maintain complete and accurate records of workers' wages and hours. We're going to do Union Busters. This segment of Boss Watch covers national updates. It's sponsored by Labor Lab. Labor Lab is an employer watchdog organization. They are committed to safeguarding the right to organize through unions, collective bargaining, and mutual aid. They do this by combing through reports that Union Busters are required to file with the Department of Labor and sharing them with people. Information is power. The new filings from last week include Van Lee Hospitality Holdings in California. They hired LRI Consulting Services for $425 an hour. Escalante Concrete in Arizona hired Flores Labor Relations for $250 an hour. Carlos Flores, the CEO of Flores Labor Relations, which is a union-busting firm founded in 2016 and based in Temecula, California. Carlos Flores, prior to working there, was a Teamsters shop steward. In addition, the following filings were amended. The Cummings Group amended their filing for statewide conditioning to add their compensation rate of nearly $4,000 a day. As a reminder, due to a lack of enforcement, some labor relations consultants may disregard the law and fail to report their activities to the U.S. Department of Labor. Therefore, it's crucial for organizers and workers to report suspected persuader activity to the U.S. Department of Labor's Office of Labor Management Standards. You can do that via email at olms-public@dol.gov or by calling 202-693-0123. If you need any assistance with that, you can contact Labor Lab at contact@laborlab.us.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.